So on to part 12, we've actually arrived at the lighthouse that was being foreshadowed earlier. We're actually going to start meeting the Infernas, which are absolutely horrible enemies to go against. I really don't like them. They're probably one of the more annoying enemy types. In the second one, they actually don't exist. They were replaced with the Arsonist, so I'm completely okay with that. The Arsonist can be pretty annoying too. In particular, there is one section in the second one where you have to defend a guy whenever there are a bunch of Arsonists being spawned in, and yeah, it can really mess with you. But here, we actually don't even need to be up at the lighthouse top section here yet, because it's not powered, so not really getting a whole lot done up here. We do actually have a particular flashback kind of thing up here, so we can go and witness that. Our son is currently on the edge of the lighthouse.
I wish we'd had more time together. I wish things were different.
So that is kind of an optional little thing that you can look at. So it is worth it for the little story detail to come up here, but we don't need to do any mission objective up here yet. And the Infernas down there are just being annoying as hell. Keep saying, "You're the one, aren't you? And who are all these strange people?" And they just continue on and on and on until eventually you go down and meet them. Like, there are some triggers in this game where once you trigger them, you have to hit that second trigger, otherwise it will never stop repeating. And it is terrible how annoying it can get. So we go out here to finally meet the Infernos. They just kind of slowly walk towards us to begin with.
How did it get this far?
But these enemies are definitely annoying.
You're the one, aren't you?
As you can see, they glide and leave a flame trail behind them. But the flame trail can hurt you, and as you can see, my health is going down pretty damn quick. And this one is literally just not getting off of the top of me. So I lost like all of my health bottles instantly, because that one's tracking was just on top of me. But yeah, you need to get rid of the ash piles that they leave behind, otherwise they'll come back. So yeah, Infernos, if they decide to be dicks, they can absolutely shred you. Like, ridiculously so. Which, this guy has another morality option. We actually do want him alive for good morality. You can instantly kill him for bad morality. But he is actually really good to have with the Infernos. The NPCs in this have basically aimbots and deal a decent amount of damage, honestly.
Why do you follow me, inmate?
So we just kind of keep him around.
I hate you. All you inmates think CEOs are evil, but we are prisoners in Abbott as much as you. You ever think of that?
And actually, if you've seen the beginning of this game, this is the dude that was walking us to our prison cell, Ernesto. His wife actually has a bigger part in the second game, if you go to watch that as well. So, you can actually see his wife in the second one, who looks for him and his daughters because she was captured from Carnate. So we do actually have some kind of closure to his story in particular, but he's not actually a bad guy. He definitely starts off as like a kind of an asshole character, but he gets better. I do really like his character, although we don't really have him for a very long time. I don't actually end up saving him fully anyways. That's a problem with a lot of the NPCs is they can actually die while they're with you, but it's kind of hard to keep them alive, honestly, a lot of the time. And I can only imagine on impossible difficulty, because some things will just shred your health. This is on normal difficulty, by the way, just so people are aware, but there are 2 difficulties above this, and I can only imagine that things will absolutely destroy you on impossible, so I didn't even really care to go for that. But I do like the little detail of if you shoot the Infernas in their little girl forms, they actually burn the bullets in place and they drop to the ground. I thought that was really cool. There is one particular thing of note with the Infernas, though. They have really dangerous flame trails, but at the same time, they lack verticality except for that bomb attack that you just saw one of them use. So if you can get on top of something or have a distinct height advantage against them, really they only have one thing in particular that can hit you ever, because they have no other attack of range or anything like that. So say I get on top of this truck right here, I wouldn't even have to worry about this Inferna's flame trail. So it is really nice to have that little bit. It actually saves me later on, because you get trapped in a tiny little confined space with a bunch of Infernas around you, and they can be annoying as hell. So it is a nice little thing to note. And that Inferna did definitely just blow up that burrower, so that was kind of funny.
Together we are quite a team, eh?
And Ernesto starts talking in the middle of 2 burrowers trying to kill us.
Together we are quite a team, eh?
It is kind of funny that they just keep doing their lines if they get hit during them, so he just keeps saying it and getting hit. This dude is literally getting blended and just keeps repeating his line. I thought that was a funny little touch. They kind of have to finish their lines in order to trigger their next parts. So if they get interrupted, they have to repeat the line over and over again. So you can just keep watching them get slapped. And now this dude is just making fun of Torque's name because they don't ever actually even say if Torque has a real name or if that is his name. I wouldn't assume it's his name, but we never actually do find out his real name. Even whenever he's talking to his wife later on, he just says they call me T or Torque, and she ends up calling him T. So if he does have a real name, I don't think it's ever been revealed. So it is kind of interesting. Not really anything of note besides the fact that I don't believe he has a name ever been revealed. But here we can actually see that the beginning weapons still have a purpose even later on in the game. You can still stunlock slayers and stuff with the beginning shiv, while Ernesto just destroys them. But yeah, we should be climbing up the tower over to our left, because that has a spotlight up there that we can activate to burn these slayers and also block off the hole that is spawning them. So it's just one of those things where you realize after the fact, I was just trying to get rid of all of the enemies before carrying on. But yeah, these guys will basically just keep getting up. Ernesto is pretty decent on his own against normal just slayers, so I really didn't have to worry a whole lot about him. He can kind of handle himself against these guys. If they keep getting up, he'll just blast them. And he's still doing his lines like he's against the Infernas for the slayers that keep popping up. So it is kind of interesting. Though, again, it does work in particular for
Keep my eye on you.
stopping slayers from respawning. But yeah, again, we should just be climbing up the tower over to our left. Wasn't really thinking about it.
Where?
But it's one of those, once you realize it's easier the second time around.
You know how to kill. I can see that.
So yeah, now there's nothing else spawning. We're just going to go up the tower. And we can use the spotlight up here to block off the hole and burn any slayers that in particular that may be around. And we do get a little bit of healing and stuff, so that's always nice.
You shoot these burning diablos, destroy their ashes. It is the only way to.
Again, he's still talking about the Inferno, so it's kind of weird. And there's not really a whole lot else up in this tower, but we did activate the next area, so we can go do that. And it's just a quick way if we drop down there, so. Here I just take advantage of the fact that we have the spotlight, so the slayers will have to run through it to get to me, and they will burn while they're doing it. So it's just really nice to have that to our advantage. But whenever we did the blocking of that hole, we actually opened up the next area, which is the fence. But now we have to be careful of the Infernos because they're fire trails, and we don't have a whole lot of health left, so we actually are depending a lot on Ernesto here to help us out. Like I said, he actually does a decent chunk of damage, honestly. The NPCs in this do a chunk of damage and aren't really bad at aiming. I say as he hits the ground 5 times. But yeah, despite that, they do have pretty decent aim, so. But we'll just go over here. We get a shit ton of dynamite, and we can flip on the generator for our lighthouse back where we met Ernesto. So.
Inmate, you have done it. The lights are on. Let's get back to the lighthouse and leave this evil place.
So yeah, now we're just gonna go back to the lighthouse with Ernesto. The phone does end up ringing here, so I do go and answer that.
I'm coming to visit. I want to see you and the boys.
Kind of awkward that we just left Ernesto out there to deal with the shit that's coming his way, so.
I think we can make it work. For once, things are gonna work out. I can't wait to see the boys and you too. I'll meet you at your apartment, okay? See you soon, T.
So yeah, it seemed like Torque's life was kind of turning around, at least if you're playing on the good part, or good morality. He was actually making a change in his life, but if you've seen the second one, you know that Blackmore kind of ruins his entire day / life. So you get more into that into the second one. In the first one, you didn't. It's kind of just
Inmate, what are they doing?
ambiguous, but conclusive enough to where it doesn't really hurt anything. And here, throw dynamite at the Inferno. Throw more dynamite. Basically, I'm just trying to deal with them, but at the same time, I don't really have a whole lot of healing. So, it is really dangerous. And Ernesto actually dies, so. But then, yeah, they use their bomb attack, and I'm just instantly gone. I'm pretty sure the Infernos are like, when they use that bomb attack, it actually is explosive damage, which for some reason just does a shit ton of damage to Torque. But, yeah, was just a death. Easy enough to say. With Ernesto being dead there anyways, it would have kind of ruined some of his plot point, so
Inmate, what are they
I wasn't too torn up with having to restart. We didn't really go that far back, because the checkpoint was 5 seconds ago, so I do try and be a little bit more careful with my dynamite this time, because I was hitting Ernesto last time. But at the same time, we definitely don't want the Inferno to get too close to us, because we don't have any more pills. This is a very dangerous situation. So I'm actually kind of relying a lot on Ernesto to help out here with his damage output. And there we did have one of the Inferno hit us, but she did miss the bomb attack. I'm pretty sure that would have ended us if it had hit us, so.
My wife told me the story of this place. 300 years ago, there was a Puritan village on this island. 3 young girls accused villagers of being in league with the devil. There were burnings. I think this is where they did it. They feared evil from within, but they did not see the real enemy.
So yeah, that's basically the quick and dirty of the Infernos. Basically Puritan witch trials, if you're unaware with them, like Salem, where people were going stir-crazy, hysterical over witches, and there were a lot of executions, particularly by burning at the stake. So that happened on Carnate as well, considering it is in Baltimore in particular. It is... Yeah, I didn't mean to hit Ernesto there, but he just kind of decided to get there. But anyways, Baltimore is around the particular area for that sort of stuff, so it does make sense in connection to things. But that's where the Inferno in particular come from, is just burning at the stake. So all of the enemies have particular motifs to them. Like Slayer is stabbing, Burrower is death by burial, or being buried alive. Marksman is execution by firing squad. Inferno is burning at the stake. Hangman is the obvious one. And then you have mainliners who are death by lethal injection. So they do have some interesting stuff. And he tells us we can go in the cave, but at the same time, I didn't really want to leave him at this point, because I figure he's probably going to end up dead. So I kind of just left the cave alone. I honestly don't know what's in the cave, so I could not tell you what is in there, but I didn't want Ernesto to die at this point. Not until we got to his next section. So.
Damn. The power is on, but the light is not turning. The lighthouse is old and
but now we need to go up and activate the lighthouse like I was trying to do earlier at the beginning of this section. So we're going to climb up to the top. We have to unjam some of the gears and just get the light rotating. It's simple enough. I mean, there's just getting some of the pieces out of the gears and then rotating the thing. Which I already did earlier. You would need to unjam the gears, but right now we don't need to because I had already done it. And then we get the radio confirmation that we need to go to the docks, so we are actually entering the final part here very shortly. And considering I'm sitting on no health whatsoever and half health in my actual health, it's pretty bad.
The light is on. Oh, now the Coast Guard can come.
I didn't expect the Infernos to actually completely destroy me that much, but they did.
Maybe less so, see? Hey, come on. Now we can make our way to town.
But Ernesto thinks that we're a good boy now, which is great, because we are going for that. So.
The road is gated up here. I don't know how we'll get through, but we will have to.
But here we're gonna get another visit from not Hermes,
It's not just Abbott. It's this whole island.
I'm forgetting his name currently, but
People come here, they do things.
He'll open the gate for us, and then we'll be on to the next part.
But you're different. You're the wild card in the deck.
Horace, that's it. Don't know why I forgot his name.
I hold you. Now go on. Find
But yeah, with that, we're going to be on to the next part. So let me know what you guys think, and have a good one.
What was that? Lightning? It almost hit us. Well, at least we can make it through the gates now. Come on.